Playoff matchups in the NHL might come down to the last game of the regular season, and it's story time with Dave Dameshek. This is the Hockey Show.
ما في وقت للعب 9-1 كونتينيو يجي نار من استوديو نوني ولا لازم نشوف
David Druk of the Hockey Show is not here. He is currently in Orlando with his 2 kids trying to survive. Rosie is in Guatemala escaping the United States right on time. So that leaves me with Ethan.
Yeah. You got to be happy about that one, Roy. I know you're all excited. It's just me and you today.
Okay. Dave, you are in Orlando right now with the family. How is it going? Are you going insane yet?
No, not yet. It's still fairly early. We got out of the house before 6 today and headed up. We're at Animal Kingdom right now. The wife and the older kid are on the rapids. I've got the little one here. Nathan, you can say hi. Getting it.
Hi.
Hey,
there we go.
Hey, Nathan.
So we're going to head over to Magic Kingdom when they get done. And I think we're coming back here for dinner tonight. And then, it's always crazy when you come up here. I just got to keep up with my wife.
Yeah, I see you are in front of the big fake tree over there at Animal Kingdom.
Yep.
Go to a hotel.
Yeah, we're going to go to a hotel tonight.
Oh, fancy you. Fancy hotel. All right, Dave, you have fun with the family. We appreciate you.
Wait, Dave, real quick. Dave, next weekend,
what's up, E?
I'm going to Epcot. I'm drinking around the world for the first time ever. Do you have any advice?
Stay hydrated. And don't do it on an empty stomach.
Technically is staying hydrated.
No, like water. Like drink water. It's a marathon, not
I'm a little
sprint.
scared. Yeah, I'm a little scared. I'm not the biggest drinker, so I'm a little scared by just drinking a million different liquors.
Maybe
and
don't start in Mexico. Maybe start on the England side at the pub and just kind of work your way in.
Kind of ease your stomach in with like a beer or an ale or something.
Yeah, starting with the margaritas might be dangerous.
Okay.
Get a
like
stout.
That idea.
Get a stout.
Yeah, stout.
Yeah, that should really help you. Dave, have fun. Try not to get yourself in too much trouble with the aforementioned drinks.
Dave, if my puck luck hits this week, we switch seats next week.
Puck luck's definitely hitting this week because there's no games.
No, you are staying your ass back in the video room next week, whenever that might be. All right, thanks, Dave. So several teams over the past month have made late season coaching and front office changes. First, Vegas with Bruce Cassidy getting fired for John Tortorella. We talked about that. We talked about Toronto firing the GM Brad Treliving. And now the New York Islanders fire Patrick Roy in favor of Peter DeBoer, which seemed like a preemptive strike so they can get ahead of everybody trying to sign probably the best name on the free agent market as far as coaching is concerned. They had a bit of a scare last night because Matthew Schaefer blocked a shot in his shoulder area. He left the game early, but then came back out and then accepted his star. So he will probably be all right. That was a 5-3 win against Toronto, by the way, who continues to tank. The Islanders are chasing in the playoff race right now. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, Seattle, we had Allison Lucan on last week. Ron Francis has stepped down as team president. So we got all this going on around the league with teams losing front office members this late in the regular season. This seems like it's being normalized now. Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, I would say this has become probably one of the storylines of the season, right? That this is a new I don't know necessarily that this will be a new trend. This might just be a one-off thing. But you have 3-4 teams making changes late in the year like this. Like, it's a big deal, and especially when it's specifically coaching changes, right? We talked about Cassidy, a Stanley Cup winning coach, being fired for John Tortorella. Patrick Roy has done a great job this year, in my opinion, with the New York Islanders. Like, I know Matthew Schaefer has been an absolute revelation. This team was not expected to be anywhere near the playoffs, and they're 1 point out as we sit here with 3 games left in the season behind the Philadelphia Flyers. They've got a real shot to make the playoffs here. Now, was it too little too late? I don't know. We'll see. Because Columbus is right there hanging around. Philadelphia is right there hanging around. I don't think they have a real shot to get into the wild card spots. So they're going to be battling for that third spot in the Metro Division with the first 2 spots in that division already locked up. So it's going to be interesting for me, Roy. And clearly this was a move to get, like you said, to get DeBoer, because this deal comes with term, whereas Tortorella is basically a tryout or just kind of a, hey, this is going to be our guy to try and get the most out of this season that we can in Vegas. But it was very surprising to me. I did not see this coming at all, Roy, in terms of letting Waugh go, because I thought he's done a pretty solid job this year. And I know they've kind of slipped up at the end of the year, the Islanders, but I didn't really think that was enough to warrant a firing. So I guess they just had DeBoer on their radar and said, let's get our guy now rather than waiting, see if he can spark us these last 5-6 games to make a run at the playoffs, which, like I said, would be a real surprise run if they get in.
You know who's the happiest of this? Anthony Duclair.
I was going to say not Ilya Sorokin.
No, definitely not. No, the goaltenders are probably going to have a tough time with this one. But, it just 3 out of those 4 teams are in playoff races, and I'm including Seattle in this one, although they were on a 6-game losing streak up until that win last night.
Seattle, their chances are kind of basically dead in the water here. They're 8 points out with 4 games left, so they're pretty much done. And
win with help.
Yeah, they would need a lot of help. They have a lot of teams to get over. They got to get over the Blues, the Sharks, the Jets, the Preds, and then get in over the Kings. They do have the most regulation wins, I believe. No, never mind. Ignore that. Anyway, point being,
the tiebreaker.
Seattle's been kind of lost in the middle ever since they've been a franchise, really, right? Like, we haven't really found an identity for this Seattle team. I think they have some good players. Shane Wright, Matty Beniers. I love Brandon Montour, obviously, but they just kind of can't. They don't have a superstar. They can't find a superstar in-house. So it's not a surprise to me that a team that's searching for an identity is going to go in a different direction in the front office in terms of the guy that's heading that front office, because they need to find an identity fast. This Pacific Division was wide open for them this year. They could have. This should have been a year where they really took a step, and instead they just kind of find themselves toiling in this mushy middle that we always talk about in the National Hockey League, Roy. And so it'll be interesting to see what direction they go in exactly. But yeah, it felt like a change was necessary there because, again, they've just been like, they made the playoffs in their second year. They upset the Avalanche. That was a big storyline that year. But since then, it's just been no playoffs, and they had a real chance this year, and then they fizzled out at the end of the year, and they just need something. They need a spark. They need something to go their way. Maybe a ping pong ball bounces their way or something, but I don't know, Roy. Things are a little bleak for that franchise out there, I would say.
Looking at the lottery list right now of the 7, and then Florida's the 7th team right now on that tier. Seattle is 5th. They have not officially been eliminated from playoff contention, but they are 5th.
It's crazy
in the lottery odds.
I know.
So that's pretty. The
crazy. Disparity in the West and the East this year is so crazy, Roy. I mean, it's just the Panthers. They're 7th in the league right now. They're obviously second to bottom in the Eastern or third to bottom now in the Eastern Conference. But yeah, it really is a disparity. I was looking, and it's even within the Western Conference. It really comes down to the Pacific Division. Like the Utah Mammoth right now would be leading the Pacific Division, and they are currently the first wild card team because of how great the Central Division is this year, which, by the way, that division, I know we'll get to it in a second because we're going to talk about some of these playoff matchups. That division is awesome. All 3 of those teams are great, but the Mammoth right now have 90 points. That's even with the Edmonton Oilers, and they have 1 more regulation win. So they would be the first place team in the Pacific Division right now. And then you have the Golden Knights at 89 and the Ducks on 89 points as well, with the Kings at 85 holding on to a playoff spot, which, can we please get the Predators in there over the Kings, man? I just don't want to see these Kings again. And at least they won't have to face the Edmonton Oilers again this year, but this team has 20 regulation wins, Roy. To put that into perspective, the Rangers have 24, and they're bottom in the Eastern Conference this year. So the last place team in the Eastern Conference has more regulation wins than the second wild card in the West this year. And obviously they've got all those loser points that have come in handy because they set the record, right, for the most overtime games played this season.
Yeah. It's crazy. They do not have a lot of wins in regulation. this season. In fact, I think they might have the lowest out of everybody who are in playoff
Out of
contention.
not even just that, Roy, they have the lowest in the league, excluding the Vancouver Canucks.
Tough, Jesus.
So the Canucks have 15 regulation wins. The Kings have 20. The next worst team is the Chicago Blackhawks, who have 21. So the Kings are complete and utter loser point merchants this year. They are 33, 26, and 19. 19 extra points coming from overtime losses this year.
Well, look at it this way. Edmonton's probably not going to play the Kings. Because Colorado would have to play the Kings. If the Kings clinch the second wild card spot, the Kings are not going to catch Utah. And the Kings are probably not going to get third place in the division. So there's that. So we're not going to see the Oilers and the Kings again.
We should all be very thankful for that. We should all be grateful. Now, they could, I guess they could. They have a game in hand on Anaheim, and they're 4 points back. They could sneak into that third spot in the division. At that point, they'd play, oh my God, if Edmonton falls to second place, they'd play Edmonton again. Nobody wants to see that, Roy. The West is going to be really interesting because obviously these three teams are so far ahead of everybody else in the Pacific Division. But two of them are going to be eliminated before we get to the Western Conference Finals, which if any year is going to be the year where we should change the playoff format, it's obviously this one because you're going to lose two of the three best teams in the entire National Hockey League before we get to the Conference Finals. Will the team that emerges from that Central Division be so beat up that a team like Edmonton or Vegas could take advantage? I don't necessarily think – I think Anaheim's too young to realistically have a shot against one of those teams in a series. But with Vegas's experience, with Edmonton obviously going to the finals the last 2 years and having McDavid and Draisaitl, I don't think they're good enough this year to take down one of those teams, but it will be interesting. And look, Utah could give Edmonton, like if the playoffs ended today, it would be Utah and Edmonton. I think Utah could give Edmonton a run for their money in that series. Yeah. Utah's a really sneaky good team. They've got a very, very talented roster.
So not a single team in the Pacific Division has clinched the playoff spot yet. We know that Dallas and Minnesota are going to play each other in the first round. That's set in stone. And Colorado is going to win the President's Trophy. So that's the West. That's what we know right now.
Roy, did you watch that Dallas-Minnesota game at all last night? That series is going to be a war. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
It's going to be awesome.
Definitely looking forward to that. We are going to try to have some live streams in this playoffs, trying to have at least one every week. That is the plan. So hopefully you guys can join us as we go over at least one game per series. So we are going to do that during the playoffs. Let's go into the East since we talked about the West. The Atlantic Division.
Ooh, it's fun, Roy. It's getting fun here at the end of the year.
Yep. It's basically they're playing for first place right now. Buffalo and Tampa and Montreal. Whoever wins that, I mean, that is going to be tough. Yeah. It's going to be tough coming out of the East. Like you talk about teams beating each other up. That Eastern Conference is going to be a tough thing to get through.
That Atlantic Division is really going to beat each other up. And right now it's looking like it'll be 5 Atlantic Division teams. Again, I think it was the same case last year because Boston has – I think they've pretty much got that wild card locked up. They're 5 points clear right now with 3 games to go. Ottawa seems like they're going to be the final team, which if Ottawa plays Carolina – I like that matchup for Ottawa, man. I do. I think last year that playoff experience will do them a lot of good. They're playing good hockey at the right time. But, man, let's take a look at this Atlantic Division, Roy. Right now you've got the Sabres who have played an extra game on the Canadiens and the Lightning.
Yep.
106 points, 104 points, 102 points after the Canadiens beat the Lightning last night. That pretty much should, unless they blow it here in these last 3 games, that should lock up that they'll have home ice advantage against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the playoffs, which right now that looks like the most likely matchup. Mm-hmm. Tampa's got to be careful, man. That Montreal team is good. Like if you look around the Eastern Conference, really the only teams that I think we all expected to be in the playoffs before this season are the Lightning, the Hurricanes. I would say the Senators, a lot of people expected the Senators to get back to the playoffs, but the other team is Montreal. Like everybody expected Montreal, after they finally broke through last year and got to the playoffs, to get back to the playoffs this year and be a real factor and be able to make some noise. I wouldn't want to go to Centre Bell. If I'm the I did it just for you.
Just to piss
I
me
did
off,
it just
man.
for you. I wouldn't want to go to Montreal if I'm Tampa and have to play those first 2 games on the road, because I don't know if how much Montreal hockey you've watched this year, Roy. That building is electric.
Jumps
and
every single game.
It is going to be such a hard place to play. And I think the thing in last night's game that was impressive. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold, guys. I'm
That's
struggling.
all right.
It's
Don't
a flu
worry.
game right here. It's a flu game right here.
Don't worry about it. Did you hear Jeremy this week?
Yeah, I know. But anyway, point being, I was watching that game last night, and the Lightning tried to do what they do, which is muck the game up and kind of beat up on a team. And I think the Canadiens not only fought back and stood their ground, I thought they beat the Lightning's ass last night. Like, they were physical.
Yeah.
They were mucking up and winning those scrums. They were taking the Lightning down in those scrums. Corey Perry was trying to mess with Lane Hudson, and Lane Hudson wasn't having it for a second. Like, they were beating the Lightning at their own game, and then the Lightning came back, tied the game in the second, late in the third period. Darren Radish, 22 goals on the season.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on there. 78-point season for Darren Radish, point notwithstanding. And then the Canadiens came right back and scored and won the game. And I'm watching that game last night, and I'm saying to myself, the Canadiens could absolutely get the Lightning here. And what a disappointment that would have to be for the Lightning, Roy, if they don't have to run into the Panthers and they can't even make it out of the first round.
That we will be laughing at them.
Oh, we will.
Oh, boy. The Metro, all right, let's get Carolina out of here. Like, we already know about that. Pittsburgh clinched the playoff spot. And good for them. They had two injury scares with Sidney Crosby, and they got through that and managed to make the playoffs. It is about third place right now in that division, and we're looking at the Philadelphia Flyers possibly making the playoffs here over the Islanders. And, it was, first of all, the Red Wings win. Oh, boy. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
I know. The third straight year, right, that they've collapsed in March, the Red Wings?
Yeah.
And they did blow them out last night to keep their hopes alive at least a little bit, but 3 points out with 3 games to go in an Ottawa team that's 6-3-1 in their last 10. It's going to be a tough ask for the Red Wings to get in. And I don't know. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I don't know where they go from here if they don't get in. They have to make a big shakeup. I don't know if it's letting Yzerman go.
It's probably going to end up being Steve Yzerman.
I think it's going to be, because it's 9 years now without the playoffs in Detroit, a team that had gone to the playoffs 26 years in a row before that, Roy. I mean, that just can't happen. But where did the Flyers come from, Roy? I know they made the coaching change with Rick Tocchet. They made the trade for Trevor Zegras, which I thought was a nice pickup for them. Porter Martone they've injected into the lineup at the end of the year here. But they were out of it, man. And then all of a sudden, they've come from nowhere. They're 6-4-0 in their last 10 games now. And they are in a much better spot than the Islanders and the Blue Jackets as well. I still think with 3 games to go, I'm going to take a look at the schedules here. The Flyers have Winnipeg, Carolina, and Montreal to finish the season.
That's tough, man.
That's a tough finish for the Flyers.
Winnipeg, by the way, they've come back.
They're sneaking in. Yeah, I mean, that team, has greatly underachieved this year. 3 points out with 4 games to play. They could legitimately do it, but I don't really see it happening there. Columbus has Montreal, Boston, and Washington. That's a gauntlet to end the season.
Yep.
Montreal's on fire, Boston's on fire, and Washington has been in, out. I think they're out of it now. They're 5 points back, or they're 3 points back of the second spot in the Metro. And then you take a look at the Islanders. They've got Ottawa, Montreal, and Carolina. So all 3 of these teams have gauntlets to end the season. If you think about it, like, none of these teams have an easy road to get into the playoffs here. I don't know who I favor, to be honest with you, Roy. I think I favor Columbus because I like their roster the best here. I think they're the best team. They came really close to making the playoffs last year. They probably should have, but they fell apart in the last few games of the season. I like their chances the best, I would say, just because I trust that team the most. But Rick Tocchet's got the boys playing great hockey at the right time. And, with Michkov, and this is a good, a Flyers team that has definitely overachieved this year, but this could be a sign of things to come for the Flyers.
All right, let's go into the Panthers then, and we got some trophy updates here. Let's start with the Masterton Trophy. The Florida chapter of the Professional Hockey Writers Association has chosen Brad Marchand as the Panthers representative for the Bill Masterton Trophy for the player who best exemplifies the qualities and perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to ice hockey. If you remember back in October, Marchand stepped away from the team to serve as coach for an under-18 hockey team that he co-owns in his hometown of Halifax, Nova Scotia, because his friend, J.P. McCallum, who is the head coach of that team, lost his daughter tragically to cancer. And this is the type of guy that Brad Marchand is. He stepped away to support his friend, and the PHWA felt like, you know what, good on him. We're going to make him one of the nominees for the Masterton Trophy. So congratulations to Marchand. Hopefully you will win that trophy at the end of the season. The NHL today announced the nominees for the King Clancy Trophy, and all the teams picked that separately. Florida chose Sam Bennett as the player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice, and has made noteworthy humanitarian contributions in his community. In this case, Sam Bennett's nonprofit organization, Benny's Buddies, where he sponsors pets to be adopted through the Humane Society of Broward. So those are, so far, your two candidates as far as Florida Panthers are concerned for the NHL awards this season.
Can you believe we've reached a state where Brad Marchand is being nominated for a sportsmanship award?
No, given what we know about this man,
yeah,
I'm not really surprised. I would have been surprised if he was nominated for King Clancy in Boston. Yeah, as let alone Masterton. So good on him.
No, it's great. He's just such a rat on the ice, but off the ice, he's always been such a great Samaritan, and yeah, he's kind of changed his image a little bit since coming to Florida, I would say, because the leadership he displayed with Barkov down, he stepped up and picked up an A this year. He was wearing an A for a lot of the year.
Yeah,
and I think nobody really expected that when he came to Florida, but man, he was huge for the Panthers before going down, and obviously we've seen how they've played since he made his way out of the lineup. They needed him bad. Yeah, they needed him. They wouldn't have been even that close to the playoffs if it weren't for him this year. So hopefully he comes back healthy and rested next year and can take another run at it.
And obviously we mentioned earlier that the Panthers are currently 7th in the draft lottery odds. So may they continue losing. If they can get into the top 5, that would be great. Awesome. But, it is what it is. It is time for Puck Luck. It is brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Go ahead, Ethan.
All right, so no games tonight. So we don't have player prop odds out yet. So I'm going to put together a little 4-game parlay for tomorrow's slate of games. We're going to start with the Wild and the Predators. I'm going to take the Predators here plus 1.5. Predators have been a really feisty team late in the season, playing really, really good hockey very, very quietly. Steven Stamkos is having a 40-goal season, and nobody's talking about it. So I'm going to take them. The Wild already have their spot locked up. They still need to fight for home ice advantage, but they did lose to the Stars last night, puts them in a precarious spot. Don't think they'll win, but they'll put them in a pickle. Don't think they'll win by more than 2 there. Let's go to the Senators and the Islanders, 2 teams we were just talking about. Senators playing great hockey, Islanders not so much. I'm going to take the Senators there, money line minus 125. The Flyers, another team we just talked about, they're on the road at the Winnipeg Jets, as we just talked about. I'm going to take the Flyers money line plus 110. I think Rick Tocchet's got the boys ready. I'm not sure they're going to sneak into the playoffs, Roy. It would be really impressive if they do. I would love it if they do. I always like rooting for new blood to make the playoffs. I'm going to take them, though, plus 110 there. Just think they're a better team playing better hockey than Winnipeg right now. And finally, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't love this pick. No, I love this pick.
Oh, you changed your mind.
I'm going to tell you why. Because Montreal, I think they had a very emotional game against Tampa the other night. I think they're going to have a bit of an emotional come down, and Columbus needs this one desperately. This is basically their last stab at it to make the playoffs. I think they're going to win tomorrow night in Centre Bell in Montreal.
Come on, what are you doing?
Plus 120. Add it all up, Roy. This is a big one right here. Plus 1137 as a parlay. So big odds here. We're taking a stab at it, Roy. We're going with a 4-game parlay. Taking a stab at it. 2+ money lines here. But I like it. Hope we win some money. Hopefully I do better than Jorky does.
Yeah, well, at those odds, it's going to be a lot of money. So hopefully you actually do something that Dave has not been able to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is win people money. You happen to have a stat of the week?
I do not have a stat of the week, Roy. Let's go into wins and fails.
All right, so let's go with your win. Go ahead, Ethan.
My win of the week comes from last night's game between the Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Cole Caulfield scored his 50th goal, and his dad was in the crowd to see it, and his reaction was just beautiful. It was so emotional inside. I'll call it Bell Center just for you, Roy.
Thank you.
Inside Bell Center. The reaction was incredible. They kind of like stopped the game for a little bit to kind of let the crowd cheer on Caulfield. He's the first 50 goal scorer in like 30 years for the Canadiens. Like, I don't exactly have who or when the last one was in front of me right now, but an incredible achievement for Cole Caulfield, who, Roy, I know they won the gold medal, so we can't really critique the roster, but how is Cole Caulfield not Milan, man? What a great player he is.
Yeah, excellent player so far. Excellent season. As you know, he changed his number for Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah, love that.
Just an emotional moment, and having him score 50 this year, that is big time. And hopefully the Canadiens can take that momentum into the playoffs.
He's got a real shot at the Rocket Richard Trophy.
Yeah.
He's 1 goal right now behind Nathan McKinnon, although I think McKinnon might have scored last night. But he's right there with McKinnon neck and neck for that trophy. So
certainly has been the MVP of the Canadiens so far this season. My win of the week happened in Edmonton when somebody scored midway through the Golden Knights Oilers game, but not in a way that you think. Play the video.
Breaking news. We have word that someone has gone into labor here tonight. There's a baby being born on the 7th floor at Rogers Place as we speak. So someone's going to have a great story to tell. It would be nice to have the mother join us on After Hours to describe what's happened, but that could be asking a bit much.
You know, somebody on Twitter, currently known as X right now, made the joke, at least someone is delivering. McDavid sure ain't. Vegas won that game 5-1. So
yeah, right. That that kid's gonna be Wayne Gretzky, huh?
You think so? He's gonna be named after somebody who's on the Oilers.
Yeah, that he
maybe
should
Evan
be,
Bouchard.
for sure. They should be for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened at Rogers Place this week. Baby was at least delivered in the arena. Hopefully they got transported to a hospital where they are perfectly healthy and fine. We don't know yet.
That's an amazing story, man. I was born. You get to tell your friends in 10 years. I was born at an Oilers, not during an Oilers game. Like, not my mom was watching it on the television, and my dad was cheering while my mom was giving birth. I was at an Oilers game.
And they lost.
And they lost.
And they lost.
No, they got to win at that point. You got to win. I mean, come on.
I was born at an Oilers game, and it was my fault.
And they lost.
What is your fail, Ethan?
All right, I'm going to go with, I'm going to throw in a bone for David here. Let's roll this video. This was supposed to be David's win of the week for Sam Bennett, backing up his teammate here. Matthew Tkachuk takes a punch to the face. This is a fail for me, though, because Matthew Tkachuk got a roughing penalty on this. I don't understand how that happens where you get punched in the face and you take a roughing call. Feels like a bit of a reputation call to me. So shout out to Dave. We miss you, buddy, and we hope you're having fun in Animal Kingdom. Roy, your fail of the week.
For the past couple of seasons, and we've been mentioned this before, it seems as if players have been losing their skate blades a lot more often. It has been a bad situation, and it happened again this week. Blues goaltender Joe Hofer lost his, and after he lost his skate blade, got pushed.
This is so great. This video is great. It's coming up here. So you see him scrumming around kind of.
No, he's trying to, he shuffles his way back to the front of the net, and now he can't skate to the bench to get it reattached, so he has to scuffle all the way to his bench, all the way to mid-ice near the blue line, to get back on the bench to have his skate blade reattached. this is getting out of hand. We need to fix the
we need to
skate
do something
blade
about this.
technology.
What's going on here that this is a thing? When did this?
I don't
when
know.
did it start happening?
These skate blades are now are attachable. They can be detached. But it seems like they're going off on their own and they're flying all over the place. So we don't know what's going on right now, and hopefully somebody gets this done. CCM Bauer, fix it. You got to fix this. All right.
Feels like it could be dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Skate blades just flying around everywhere.
Like all over the place. We already saw somebody in college hockey get their hand cut with a skate blade, so you never know what's going to happen.
By the way, quick college hockey. Shout out to Denver and Wisconsin national championship on Saturday.
All right, take a look at that for the Frozen Four. For those of you who are watching on DraftKings Network, check out our YouTube channel because we have Dave Dameshek from Football America giving us story time. That's coming up next.